What I want to know is why do everybody feel comfortable to play with Hama name from Avatar? Like she isn't like that. Like they are genuinely saying Ming Hua was a better waterbender and more powerful than Hama.
Bitch, are you dumb?
Pardon me?
Are you
Because I feel like people watch the Puppet Master episode with their ears and eyes closed. Like Hama was legit real deal before she became extremely versatile in waterbending. In regards to bloodbending, taking water out of the air, and taking water out of plants.
Time rounding up more of our waterbenders and taking them captive. Our numbers dwindled as the raids continued.
So you tell me the chick with no arms that decided to fight a firebender that could use lightning is more skilled and a better bender than the woman that survived multiple raids and was the literal last waterbender standing until she surrendered.
Finally, I too was captured.
You gonna tell me about some shit you ain't never seen, bitch ass nigga? You can miss me with the whole.
I got a simple question. Where is this Ming Hua hype coming from? Where people truly believe that she could beat Hama easily. Like, really. Like, the glaze for her is so insane. Like, I had to literally go back and do research. I'm like, where is this coming from? I'm assuming maybe some new information came out that I don't know about. And no, nothing has changed. It's just people really think that she's a better waterbender than Hama. Like, maybe because the animation is newer and she does, like, a whole lot more flips and stuff. Like, she got arrested for the attempt kidnapping of Korra. I mean, the way people are hyping Ming Hua up, you would assume that she was the last waterbender of her tribe that was the last one standing surrounded by hundreds of soldiers after surviving multiple days of a Fire Nation raid. In case people forgot what Fire Nation raids look like, it's more than one ship. And this is how Hama was surrounded.
But our numbers dwindled as the raids continued.
I'm the type of nigga stand on business, nigga. One man arm against 50, nigga. What you wanna do that? I stand on business, nigga.
Like, please tell me that y'all are trolling because, like, this has to be like rage bait, bro. Because, like, I'm about to fucking crash out because people are literally saying Ming Hua is a better, more dangerous waterbender than Hama, Prime Hama, and saying that Ming Hua is more versatile. Ming Hua is just a bitch with no arms that can warbend. Let's call it what the fuck it is. And all because the core animation looks better and she does a couple flips here and there, people are just glazing her. Like, what are we talking about? Where people are even saying that she has a better understanding of waterbending than Hama. Hama, the same one that pulled water out of thin fucking air, pulled water out of the lives of flowers and plants, and she was able to display how deadly she could still be at her old age. And she invented bloodbending, but they're calling Ming Hua more versatile. Nigga, what are we talking about? Like, nah, fuck that shit. I have time today. Sit tight, because there's going to be multiple videos after this, because fuck this Crashout. Yeah, Ming Hua, don't get me wrong, she's a master, but not better than Hama. Like, the Hama disrespect is getting freaking insane. And I'm talking about Prime Hama. In other words, when she broke herself out of prison and she was able to manipulate water out of thin air. And also able to take the water out of plants and use them in various different ways. Like, what? And also develop her bloodbending. Like, what are we talking about? People need to understand, old Hama isn't Prime Hama. Prime Hama is when she first stepped out of jail. And Ming Hua is not extra special because she's able to have tendrils. Katara does the same move every time and she has arms. Now, does Ming Hua do a couple extra flips and then look flashy? Yeah. But to say with a straight face that Ming Hua is more creative and more versatile than Hama. We never see Ming Hua pull water out of thin fucking air. She always needs a water source. Otherwise, she's an inflatable punching bag. Like, it has to be the flips, the kicks and stuff that make y'all hype her up so crazy. Like what are we talking about? People are acting like Ming Hua was the only member of the Red Lotus and was just wiping people out easy. Like, stop it. Stop it. Like, Ming Hua doesn't even have that many solo fights. A lot of times, she has help. And I know, y'all about to be like, oh, well, she beat Kaya, so that makes her as strong as Hama, blah, blah, blah. No, it doesn't. Beating Kaya doesn't make her like that. Let's stop that right there. Sure, was she trained by Katara? Yeah. In a time of peace. Like, she literally got maxed out by their equivalent of a freaking factory worker that does MMA as part-time. Hama, after fighting for multiple days and was the last one standing, was surrounded like this. Fire Nation soldiers was like, oh, there's only one waterbender left. We need this amount of people to surround her. And that's before the bloodbending. Now, don't get me wrong, Kaya is an absolutely great waterbender. Can't take that from her. But because Ming Hua went against her and Kaya was trained by Katara, that doesn't mean Kaya is the equivalent of Katara. Let's stop that right there. And unlike Ming Hua, Hama had to deal with stuff like this pulling up on her shore. And as her people and help was dropping one by one as the raids continue. Like they are literally giving Hama freaking Ip Man, Bruce Lee, and John Wick treatment because they are like, yo, we have to stop this one waterbender. And Hama was fighting for multiple days, surviving multiple raids, while her fellow waterbenders were getting dropped and freaking captured left and right, where she's the only one and still fighting.
But our numbers dwindled as the raids continued. Finally, I too was captured.
Like, I want to get back to the source to make sure, I'm not misunderstanding anything. Rewatching the Ming Hua scenes, it's criminal that you think that Hama has a chance. That's not true. Because I think Ming Hua has no chance whatsoever, because Hama could just take every source of water that's around her and just keep it for herself. Because Prime Hama can pull water out of thin air. Ming Hua can't. She needs a water source to bend. I'll wait till you pull up a clip where she doesn't use a water source that's nearby to water bend. I'll wait. Oh, it doesn't exist. And so what Eska and Desna get outmaneuvered and frozen. Hama isn't the level of Eska and Desna. Hama is better. And I'm going to touch on this last part in the next video. And Ming Hua, in the series, the research, or even the backstory, which she barely has a backstory, never really talks about her understanding of waterbending to a high degree as if she's teaching someone. And on top of that, she's mainly with a team. I want to talk about my favorite part, and that's right here. Crazy how 100 no-name Fire Nation soldiers is somehow flex. You're right. It's not flex at all. Right, Monkey Yasu? It's easy, right? Like, Fire Nation soldiers are easy to fucking kill. And you know what? The Fire Nation raids in the North Pole, that was over-exaggerated. Those shits was easy. Like, it's easy as fuck to survive a Fire Nation raid.
Must have taken out a dozen Fire Navy ships, but there's just too many of them. Avatar, I'm just one kid.
Yeah, Aang was just bitching. Fire Nation soldiers are easy to take out, especially during raids. Like, if Ming Hua was surrounded by this after fighting days upon days while her team were falling left and right, and was completely exhausted and was the last one standing against hundreds of firebenders surrounding her, that's light work. Ming Hua could handle it easy, right? Right? Like, taking down Fire Nation soldiers is incredibly easy. I don't know how they conquered for 100 years. But I want you to pay attention to the second line right after where they said 100 no-name soldiers isn't a flex. The gang took on hundreds of earthbenders at Ba Sing Se as children. Yeah, you're right. The literal fucking Avatar and arguably the best earthbender on the planet other than Boomy at that point in time, arguably. Yeah, you're right. Taking on 100 no-name Fire Nation soldiers, it's not a flex. The gang, aka the Avatar, and his team of skilled benders, and the king with the boomerang, were able to easily do it as children. And then you go on to say, furthermore, we literally have no proof Hama kept fighting when she was alone. Damn it, you got me. Damn it, you got me right there. It's not like she said it in the animation, where she said she was the last one standing, and she said, finally, I gave in. She didn't say that.
Our numbers dwindled as the raids continued. Finally, I too was captured.
Oh, to double down and say, oh, Hama was able to keep up with just a teenager. Or down here where they said, oh, it's a stretch for someone who lost to a teenager. So people are just, not watching like shows, right? They're not watching fights anymore. Hama's goal wasn't to win the fight. It was to bait Katara into bloodbending. Excuse me, but yes, it's impressive that somebody in their 80s could keep up with somebody that is a literal teenager and is at their strongest bending capabilities. Like, do people forget that she is as old, if not older than Gran? It was honestly a miracle to see her moving the way that she actually does. Arguably, her, Boomy, and Paku are the oldest benders, not including Aang. And it's amazing to see her move like that. I know her age isn't given, but it's a very fair assumption that she's older than Paku. But she didn't lose the Katara. Her goal was something else. She said it.
My work is done. Congratulations, Katara. You're a bloodbender.
But to say that Hama doesn't have any prime feats. You know what her prime feat is? Living. And also here saying that Mako can generate lightning, Zuko can't. So that makes it more... That's another subject. The reason I used the Monkey Yasu and Aang scenario is simply because Monkey Yasu, yes, he did fight them in Sozin Comet. But they were no-name Fire Nation soldiers. Just like Aang during the North Pole raids. They were no-name soldiers. And mind you, he had help from water-bending soldiers that were out there too. And if you go rewatch the episode and clip before this picture, he had help from waterbenders. He wasn't fighting those ships alone. And for Hama, it's not speculation that we know how dangerous she is, especially her old age. So we're assuming that during the multiple raids, she did absolutely nothing. And I mean nothing to warrant 50 plus soldiers surrounding her like this.
And I'm an old lady. Imagine me in my prime. I would have destroyed you.
Hello, Zuko here.
And if you like that video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And also let me know what you think the next video should be based off of. Because like I say at the end of all my videos, I read every comment and I make sure that y'all are heard. Because I'm trying to get to 50K by the end of the year, I would love to have your support and hear more about your ideas. I hope you're able to apply these words in your everyday life. And Lily, thanks for watching. Oh, and a reminder, drink water.
Perfection and power are overrated. I think you are very wise to choose happiness and love